Yeah.
Oh, he was great. You know, he and Perry both were great, and I thought Marty gave us great minutes, and I thought Landon Lucas gave us great minutes. So our bigs were really good today against two bigs that can really play. So, and you know, Perry was the most consistent one. He scored the most points, but there was a stretch in the second half that Joel looked pretty good.
Were you more aggressive in general? I mean,
You know, oh, there's no question we were. You know, it's a different type of zone because that was more of a packed in. They stretched out a little bit where Florida got in the gaps and made you play around them. And so they didn't really do that as much. But we attacked it better. Still not great, but we attacked it better. And, you know, I thought the biggest key that gave us a little bit of poise and confidence, you know, Nadir, except for about 3 possessions second half, he was great. And that's what we have to have him being for us. Frank didn't play as much, but it's not enough. Nadir is much better against the zone right now than Frank, but I thought that Nadir was really good, and when they made their little run in the second half to cut it to 5 on the 4-point play, I thought that's probably when we played our best after that.
Looking at this game, how do you guys game plan different against a team that has really 3 scoring options and not much from the 4th player down?
Well, we you know, we don't change how we play, but we obviously did a great job. You know, we just held those 2 of them to 48 points. So, you know, we didn't do a good job, but you know, we were going to trap both posts. We were going to try to stay contact hedges on Kirk because he shoots so many threes, and he didn't get an opportunity because of foul trouble. We got a break on that when he got 2 quick ones. And then we thought Wiggs' length would bother Williams, and it really didn't much. He had a great game. So they had 2 players of the 3 that had great games, and we tried to shrink the floor when those guys had the ball, and we actually did a decent job. But the thing that we probably did that was pretty good, we didn't let anybody else have a big night, and we rebounded the ball pretty good the second half.
I know you were complimentary of Cam Bairstow coming into the game, and you saw him on film, but were you surprised at all with what he did tonight?
I thought the first half he was unbelievable. You know, right there in front of our bench, how aggressive he was, and I mean, he's making right-hand hooks and left-hand hooks, and those aren't easy plays, especially when you're scoring over length. And I think he's really good, and I think Kirk's really good. He didn't have a chance tonight because of fouls, and then Williams obviously is terrific. So they've got 3 guys. You know, when they're playing well, all 3 together, there may not be 3 better scorers on the same team in America. And you guys may think that's a crazy statement, but who else has 3 guys averaging 19? I don't know if that's happening anywhere.
Bill, it seemed like Joel has 2 fouls in the first half. At least one of them was maybe avoidable.
Well, the first one was a bad foul. Yeah.
How important is it for him to stay out of foul trouble?
Well, it's going to be a situation moving forward, as you guys know. He needs to play 30 minutes a game. I mean, he's got to. But he can't if he makes bonehead plays, and that was a bonehead play. He's going to foul enough just by challenging shots and that kind of stuff. But he's figuring it out, too. I mean, he's just figuring it out, and what he tried to do there was the right thing. He was just late doing it. And, you know, we were going to guard ball screens a certain way with Williams, and that was to definitely extend if you're guarding 41 or contact hedge if you're 53 and you know, buy some time so Wiggs could either go over or under, and he just got there late. So he's got to learn those things because he's obviously a guy that has to play a lot.
And Bill, you got to a point with Tyshawn where you said you're going to let him play through mistakes. Is that something with Nadir at this point? Maybe.
Well, I don't know if I can quite compare those 2. You know, Ty was a pro, but Nadir, you know, we had a nice talk this week, and he knows. I mean, he knows beyond the shadow of a doubt that I'm disappointed in him in the not in his play as much, in the ownership and how he's helping the other guys. I mean, he knows, and that was the thing that I've been trying to beat into him, and I think he responded really well. He's got to take ownership for everything because there's nobody else that can do it yet. And he's got to buy time for these guys to give them a chance to grow up, and he hasn't done that as well as what he can do. And I thought today he did a good job with that.
But was it nice to? It's not Allen Fieldhouse, but was it nice to be in sort of a home environment?
Yeah, it was good. You know, the thing that surprised me, I walk out there early and there's nobody there, at least not many, and then by the time the first TV timeout occurred, I don't know how many empty seats there were. I thought that the students came over. I thought it was good. And we love playing over here. So, but we will look more forward to playing the game in a building that we think is the best home court in America that I've scheduled out of it for 4 consecutive weeks. So, which makes no sense. So we're looking forward to getting back to playing Georgetown at home.
It was nice to get Wayne going a little bit.
Yeah, Wayne. The thing about it is he didn't jump off the page on what he did. He just made easy plays. He got an open shot, you shoot it, and he played with more confidence. But what Wayne did, he guarded Williams better than anybody. The last 7 minutes, he did a really nice job there.
Bill, overall, the second half, how do you rank that with other halves?
It's probably, I told our guys, next to Towson, first half, that's probably the best half of ball we've played. And it was an efficient half. It wasn't like a highlight half. It was efficient. We actually ran some stuff and it worked. It's the same stuff we've been running and it hadn't worked at all. So, that was good to see. We still got a lot of things we can improve on, but I thought everybody that got in the game contributed in a very favorable way.
Seemed like Embiid did a good job of trapping the post real
Yeah.
quickly. Did he know how to do that right away? Or?
Yeah. Well, we practice it every day, but he's better at it than anybody else because you're throwing over 7.5 when you run, or not 7.5, you're throwing over 9.5, when he runs at you, where other guys are a little softer in their approach and how they do it, and then their height and things doesn't bother them as much. So that's something that Perry and Jamari have to get better at.
Andrew White, just a hit thing for him.
Yeah, he got a hit pointer. He tried to practice yesterday and made it worse, and he was really hurting today. So hopefully you can get him back in practice this week.
When did he get it?
I think it was Thursday. Got elbowed on Thursday.
There's a ton of basketball left to be played, but looking back, are you glad you did the schedule the way you did?
I don't know. I'll wait. Maybe if we can play good the next 3 games, I'll say yes. The thing about it is, I'd rather get confidence from beating good teams. But if you're not going to beat them, I'd rather get confidence from winning. And we put ourselves in a position, obviously, where that wasn't going to be as easy to do with young kids. But our record, what 7-3, and if you told me before the season we were at be 8-2 right now, I'd say fine, that's good. And so we're probably a game off from where I realistically thought we could be. But the whole thing is, if you can beat good teams and get confidence from that, it'll be a good thing. But it still remains to be seen on how we're going to play. I don't know if you guys realize Toledo, I think, is the best team in the MAC. And San Diego State is ranked in top 25, and you got Georgetown left. So that's not something that everybody's playing. Everybody's doing.
Well, you mentioned this with Frank. It was just a matchup thing with their.
Well, they played zone, and Frank hadn't shot the ball well yet. So I thought we'd be better off with playing Brandon or Wiggs or Wayne on the wings and giving the ball to Nadir and let him run the point the majority of the time.
What do you think of Green lately? Brandon Green?
He's playing better. Yeah, he's playing. Brandon can always play. Brandon and I just need to get on the same page. But Brandon Green's a good player, and I think he's starting to value things that we think are important. And he's just a freshman trying to figure it out. But he certainly, I thought, gave us some really good minutes.
And is Lucas doing what you want?
Yeah, the thing about it is, and this is not a knock to Tari, but Landon gets in there and. He doesn't play much, but he gets 5 rebounds in 9 minutes, and is obviously a factor. So, I think that's going to be really good for our team moving forward, and he understands what we're doing about as well as anybody on the team. So, and when you play heavy bodies like that, he's probably about as good as we have at guarding those heavy bodies.
Is that from last year? Just the experience, knowing what you're doing more than most?
Yeah, I think so. Well, he's naturally smart. He's a smart guy. So, but a lot of it's last year, and a lot of it is, I haven't given him a chance this year. He's been on the scout team. He's been on been playing defense all day and all that stuff. But when he's gotten the opportunity, he's certainly made the most of it. He's hungry.
Coach, you have a lot of practice time coming up. How much do you value, I guess, this time?
Probably not as much as you think because it's finals week. So, that trumps everything by far. It's the most important week, second, going first, and and second, I guess, May, the week in May, are the two most important weeks we have. So we have to, we'll practice around finals schedule, but very rarely do I think during finals week, now we want to get better, I'm not saying that, but it's more of a maintain, because guys will be coming at different times and things like that. So we need to do a lot of skill work probably this week, individual shooting and things like that.
Wayne said that Joel pulls off the dream shake all the time
All
in
the time.
practice, and he did it in the game. Obviously, that kind of got your guys hyped around that.
Well, I mean, people haven't seen in a game what he can do. And today's, we've seen glimpses, but we haven't seen an offensive repertoire where he can, score over both shoulders or both hands or step out and shoot it and things like that. So that was nice. That was nice to see. So.
Aside from the moves that he can do in practice and people haven't seen that you just mentioned, how happy were you that he went against two fourth-year guys and he picked up that early foul like you said?
He did good. I was pleased. The thing about it is he's becoming a better rim protector too, and he gets 3 steals and 4 blocks and no turnovers. That's pretty good for a big. So we need to play him all the time, but the more he plays, the less time he's going to spend in Lawrence. So it's kind of I'm not sure it's a real wise decision for me to do this, but he's got to play because he's got so much talent. He's going to continue to get better and better. Just needs opportunities.
Thanks for